Who's in charge in Yemen? After days of turmoil, Yemen's president, prime minister and cabinet have stood down, leaving the troubled Middle Eastern nation without clear leadership and potentially on the brink of armed conflict. President Abdu Rabu Mansour Hadi's resignation Thursday came after Houthi rebels kidnapped his chief of staff, seized control of key government buildings in the capital, Sanaa, and failed to abide by provisions of a tentative peace deal hammered out Wednesday. The chaos in Yemen is cause for concern far beyond the country's borders. For the United States and its allies, Yemen's government has been a key ally in the fight against Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, the Yemen-based group linked to attacks such as the recent slaughter at French magazine Charlie Hebdo. So what's next for Yemen? For the moment, uncertainty rules. Beyond it yawns the prospect of a political vacuum and growing sectarian rift that terror groups such as the QAP could exploit. Nita Al-Rodas, the senior analyst at IHS Country Risk, told CNN that unless Hadi is reinstated, the chances of the country avoiding armed conflict are slim. Our forecast is really civil war in Yemen because we have a lot of non-state armed groups who are likely to compete over territory and have a lot of competing agendas, she said. Who is in charge right now really depends on where in Yemen you are, she said. The Houthis, Shiite Muslims who have long felt marginalized in the majority Sunni country, have taken control of Sanaa and the northern provinces of Amran and Sanaa. But there has already been resistance to their attempted takeover of national government institutions from different groups in Yemen, particularly in the south, where there's a long-running secessionist movement, and in the oil-rich province of Marib to the east of Sanaa. This really creates a situation where even if the Houthis keep control over Sanaa, they have little chance of taking control of the whole country, said Al-Rodas. We expect to see armed resistance. So who could take charge? It's possible that Hadi, himself a southerner, could rescind his resignation and put the Gulf Cooperation Council initiative for a negotiated transition of power back on track. But that seems unlikely at present. According to the national news agency Sabah, Yemen's parliament is due to hold an extraordinary session Sunday, called by Parliament Speaker Yahya al-Rabi. Analysts suggest that because there's no vice president, the speaker could be next in the line of succession, taking on a role of acting president. He's close to former President Ali Abdullah Saleh, who clung to power until being forced out by international pressure 2 years ago. Despite their takeover of Sanaa, it's unclear whether the Houthis really want to take charge of the country. The group more likely wanted Hadi to remain in power as a figurehead behind whom they could pull the strings, without having to take on the burdensome business of governance, said Al-Rodas. Under Wednesday's failed peace deal, the Hadi government had agreed to rewrite parts of the country's constitution to give the Houthis more political power in return for them withdrawing their militias from key government institutions and freeing the president's kidnapped aide. The government only finally got parliamentary approval in December, said U.S.-based Yemen analyst Sanaa al-Hamdani. Hadi's resignation seems to be a recognition of the fact that he won't be able to lead the country as he wishes because of the Houthi takeover, she said.